video games are bad now. Hot take.
Continue, elaborate, show your
Actually,
map.
you know what? Video games, single-player video games, are, I feel like, really good right now. Single-player games are fine. Last year had some cool games. It had Ghosts of Tsushima, Neo 2. That's all I played, but I'm assuming there were more. Oh, it had Doom.
Hades is a very good roguelike.
But multiplayer games, what was the big games of last year? Fall Guys and Among Us.
Two games that showed us the worst in humanity.
Also,
Among
they were
Us,
quick little flavor of the month things. Basically, I'm bringing this up because I really want to play a good shooter right now, and I feel like there's nothing. Like, nothing's. All the shooters everyone's playing are almost like 10 years old now.
Yep, everything is old and everything is super sweaty for people that want to get super competitive into esports. That's it.
Like I'm not gonna start playing Counter-Strike because everyone who's been playing Counter-Strike has been playing Counter-Strike since like 2006, earlier than that maybe.
And it's the same thing with all of them because everything's been out for so long. So all of the shooters are just everyone who's been playing forever.
Yeah,
always.
And I'm not going back to Overwatch. I'm not doing it.
Overwatch made a flip. They flipped that switch, so it's not the same. It's not like it was when we were young men.
No, it's just like I don't like. I want a shooter where I can just. I just want like some deathmatch, like classic deathmatch. But it's like I don't want to play Halo anymore. Because, I want something new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the only shooters I can think of that people are like actively playing that are new are just like variations of Call of Duty and Battlefield.
Yeah, there's no good.
Just new Call of Duties, new Battlefields. That's what you're playing if you're playing shooters.
Pretty much. There's nothing really out there.
Like competitive multiplayer shooters.
Yes. But even like in general, there aren't like shooters is a dying genre.
Which is weird because it used to be the most oversaturated.
Yep.
But I guess a lot of your Medal of Honors, your kill zones, all of those have sort of died out. Your people trying to get in on like on the trend.
And now I think the only like outside the box shooter that's out there these days is Doom Eternal, which is pretty good.
No, and I haven't. Like, I consider Doom Eternal a single player game because it's not what I'm talking about when I'm talking about competitive multiplayer.
It is. I was just about to say that too, because like it doesn't really fit into the.
That's why it's like single player games right now are fine. They're in a pretty good spot.
Ironically enough, in this age of quarantine and plague, there's not really that good of multiplayer stuff going around out there.
Because what the multiplayer game I played most last year was Final Fantasy XIV, which was an MMO from like 2012.
I can't even tell you I think, I don't know, it's probably Call of Duty is my most played multiplayer shooter. Because just looking at my list, I'm like,
the most multiplayer I probably have played, I'd say probably Overwatch the most, and even then I haven't touched it in like 3 years. I played it for a little bit, like a month ago when James was like, "Hey, let's play that," and I'm like, fine. And then I played it a little bit, and I'm like, it's still
It's meh. The shooter genre and the multiplayer shooter genre it's a thing of the past, People just aren't into that.
I want something like because people now like Fortnite's the big thing, and that's one of those things where I don't know. What keeps me from ever trying that is I don't like the whole building aspect of it.
Yeah, and that's pretty integral to any level of high-level play or any sort of high-level play.
You gotta be like, all right, I gotta put up a bunch of like 2x4s, gotta put up stairs and ladders and like floors, and I'm like, why?
And at that point, you got to have like 7 hotkeys on your mouse so you can just cycle through everything super instantaneously whenever you need it.
Yeah.
Guys, Fortnite is pay to win.
You know what was actually oversaturated for a while that kind of finally died out? MOBAs.
Yeah, everything used to be a MOBA.
There's now pretty much just League of Legends and Heroes of the Storm, and do people still play Dota?
People do still play Dota, actually. I think more people play Dota than play Heroes of the Storm.
Really?
Yeah, I think that tier list is number 1 League of Legends, as it always
Actually, I
will be.
remember Dota was like the sweatiest of actually, well, League ranked, I guess, is the sweatiest of tryhards, but Dota feels more like the like you're a bit on the spectrum
Yeah,
in
yeah.
terms of sweaty tryhard.
Dota is for the I'm trying to remember his name, that freaking competitive Smash player that we used to meme on all the time.
Oh, Mewtwo King.
Yeah, Dota is for the Mewtwo Kings of the
Speaking of
mobile world.
video game communities, the fighting game community had a bad year last year.
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
they were
they
like,
did.
apparently everybody is pedophiles. Or at
Everybody,
least the Smash community.
yeah, I think it was mostly the Smash community, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's sad, but like that shit happened on Twitch too, where it was like, hey, all of a sudden everybody is sex offenders. I remember I was watching someone stream and all of a sudden it just went down midstream and I was like, what the fuck? The channel did not exist anymore. It was wiped off the face of the planet. And then I looked into it and turns out that guy was a sex offender.
I can't believe you watch sex offenders.
Me neither, dude. Me neither. I was shocked. And I wasn't really all that broken up about it because, like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, and it's not like you're going to be starved for content on Twitch.
Yeah, there's, especially after this year, where all of a sudden, since everybody's trapped inside all the time, everyone's like, might as well start streaming on Twitch.
Yeah. And everyone's out there averaging like 2 to 3 viewers.
Yep. It is a market that kills itself.
Also, everyone got mogged by anime girls.
Yeah, the VTuber community really took off. And there's some good shit in there too.
Yeah, but in the sense of like if you're just a regular streamer now, you need a really good gimmick.
You gotta
need,
get
like,
something.
You need a hard gimmick because if you're just a guy like I'm just a guy and I like playing games. Guys,
Hi,
check out this.
Welcome to my channel. Just a guy 35.
Just a guy 35. Did you guys know my hot take? I think the Super Mario Brothers games, especially 64, is pretty fun.
Wow. These are the hot takes I come to Just a Guy's channel for.
Honestly, I feel like that channel would do well just because of how how squeaky clean it would feel.
Just meme on how absolutely ordinary it is.
Yeah.
Hey guys. You know, I was thinking about pizza the other day, and I've got a hot take for you. I think pizza is pretty good. Oh, this guy.
All right, guys, I got a story for you. It's story time. Yeah. The other day, I went out with my friends to a restaurant, and people were looking over the menu wondering what they were going to have, and I said, give me some buffalo wings. And the whole table their jaws dropped, and they just looked at me, and they were like, the buffalo wings? And I'm like, yeah. And they looked up at the sign, and they were like, well, we are at Buffalo Wild Wings.
What a twist. What a twist in that story. Who would have expected him to actually be at Buffalo Wild Wings?
And order the wings. Just imagine going to Buffalo Wild Wings and ordering the wings.
How controversial, yet so brave.
Dude, 35 guy, give him all of the bits. I don't know. I don't really know how Twitch sort of works in that, like the whole bit donation thing. Do you just give them bits, or can you just give them money directly?
You can do a lot of things.
I hate bits. I don't like bits. It should just say this person gave you $5. I don't want to have to like do the mental translations of that.
Yeah, but if Twitch did that, then they wouldn't be able to take their cuts out of the streamer donations. Twitch is always going to get their cuts. That's why, like, you'll hear people say don't donate on mobile. That's because you should never donate or subscribe on mobile, because it is more expensive and the streamer doesn't get anything different.
Wait, does it cost to subscribe?
Yeah, there's Twitch separated follows and subscribes. Hey guys, welcome
That's a
to
weird
test.
thing.
Welcome to Test My Echo's Twitch corner, where
Ian is on test. He is Test My Echo on Twitch. Go see him so he's not stuck in the 2 to 3 category. Bump him up to 4 to 5.
I'm a pro streamer. Actually, a funny story about that. The other day after I was doing like a collab with someone I know, I go offline and I look over at my chat bot and I see like 6 people that I know typing in chat like, ah, shit, we just missed him. Turns out one of my friends rated me as soon as I went offline. So that was fun.
They gave you their 2 to 3 viewers and added that to your 2 to 3, and then boom, 6, which in the Twitch world is actually pretty good.
She rated me with 10, dude. Shit was nuts. Yeah, I know some people who are actually moderately popular. Mostly because 2 of them are VTubers, and one of them
that blows my mind though. Like 10 viewers being
a decent number.
Yeah, being a decent number. That's just like insane to me.
Well, Twitch, like, it's because of the way Twitch counts its numbers. Because the Twitch demographics thing is fucked. Because bots don't count against that number, which is fine because they're not actual viewers, whatever. Twitch will do a thing where it doesn't count lurkers sometimes in the view count. So, like...
Oh, like if you don't have an account or anything?
Yeah. If you don't have an account and you, like, don't really speak, you don't count towards stuff in Twitch's eyes, which is some bullshit. Twitch is trying to make their platform.
Sometimes I'll pop into yours and I'll say a few things because I know it's good for like the analytical system.
Yeah, Twitch analytics is fucked.
So I'm like, boom, pop in, leave a few comments, and then go do something else.
Yeah, just say hi.
Yeah, now now the algorithm will be like, people are engaged.
People are engaged in this channel.
Speaking of
you have been granted affiliate.
Leave comments on what you think about, I don't know, Twitch.
Yeah.
Just any comments are good comments. Tell us you hate us. Tell us you could fight us. Any comments are good comments.
A, you're probably right, but B, comments are good. But we're not here to talk about
if they're good or bad comments. They're just like engagement.
That's kind of the fucked up thing about it, is like a ton of hate comments still counts as like a positive when it comes to analytics.
Well, that's why there are people that just specifically for their channel's content, it's just like, I'm going to just make controversy. And then people are going to like show up and like fight about it. And then boom, I get all the engagements. Because it's even better when we were talking, when we were doing the Goblin Slayer video and we had Mengetsu on. And he mentioned that basically comments of people commenting to each other is actually good.
Talk with each other, guys. Form a community.
Now fight each other, because a flame war will just keep snowballing. More people get involved. Everyone gets dragged in. People get drafted. There's lines.
Can we have it be a community thing where people start flame wars with each other, but over dumb stuff?
Yeah.
Like fluffernutters or something? Just like start a flame war over something totally inane. Friendly flame wars.
Yeah, friendly flame wars. Where friendly fire is on.
Friendly fire is always on at the Protagonist seat. We're not here to talk about that, though.
We aren't. We are here to... well, kind of.
Yeah, we kind of are.
We can talk about whatever we want. It's my show. If I just said, fuck it, we're not talking about the anime this week, I could do it. I mean, you would have to agree, but I would just put a lot of like dominance into my voice. I'd be like, we're not talking about that this week. You'd be like, oh, geez, okay.
All right, fine, fuck it. Guess I just watched those shows for nothing, except for the fact that I kind of like them.
Yeah,
Actually,
I'm cool. I'm done with everything.
The thing that would piss me off the most is like I watched fucking X-Arm this week, and now we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah, I feel like a physical need to talk about X-Arm. The day we're recording too, the next episode drops, but we're not talking about that episode. But I saw some pictures from it, and wow.
Yeah, I remembered seeing you say you brought up a still you saw of this episode, and then I watched the episode and I was like, oh my god,
There's a man we're gonna talk about in next week's episode that looks like a cardboard cutout. Like, just imagine you put a cardboard cutout man, but you still have the camera moving in in a three-dimensional space.
Oh,
It's not getting better. It's getting worse.
And you know what? We're here for it, but we should start with the actual first show on our list.
Yes. Yeah. We have time codes in the bottom too. If you ever come in the future and our opening, our cold opening is taking too long, so
yeah,
just look for those.
You can skip the cold opens. That is always an option.
First up on the list is Otherside Picnic.
Big heads. We got big heads this week.
This episode kind of felt sort of inconsequential, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like this was just sort of like if this is based off of a manga, this probably felt like a smaller side chapter that they stretched out.
I am inclined to agree.
It just, because episodes 1 and 2 felt like they mattered a bit more. This one was more just like, they go do a thing, and then at the end they're just like, we make a pretty good team.
Yeah, this was...
they don't really achieve anything. It's just more like they try not to die this episode.
Yeah, they expressly do not achieve anything. Like, they mention that they basically wasted their time.
Because they even go in, they try to come up with a solution to the glitches, and I thought that would be the theme of this episode, but they don't. They don't come up with a solution to the glitches. They throw out several ideas, but then they're like, that might not work.
Yeah. It's maybe it's building towards glitch resolution. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
also I feel like that would be the fact that they are just so casual about the glitches. I would be pretty fucking paranoid if I knew that they were just areas where if I step there, I die instantly.
Luckily, Sorao, the eye girl, can see them, but if they're in like too tall grass, then she might miss some, which is also terrifying.
Also, the other one's not that scared about it, with like the blonde one, where I would be like, if I couldn't see, I would be having the other person lead the entire way. Because I'm like, I'm not freaking stepping in a invisible landmine.
Just conga line it. Conga line it the entire way where the vision person is up front.
I originally thought a good idea for it would be to like walk forward like a big stick, just kind of like swinging in front of you. But apparently that's what they tried to do it with like a string. But they were like, but what if touching the string while it touches the glitch is a bad thing?
Yeah. I don't understand how the glitches work, so I can't say yay or nay either way. And that's the same response they give.
I do like how the world has sort of like a weird logic to it, where it's like, or like the absence of logic, where I guess like, yeah, if there was a spirit world, I guess things would be nonsensical. Like, why does that just happen? It doesn't need a reason. It's the spirit world.
Yeah.
You just step in that spot, you die. Doesn't function off our logic.
Exactly. I think that's one of the pros of the world building is like they have built up the unbelievableness of this world in a believable way. So it's like I don't spend too much time actually questioning shit. It's just like fuck it. It's just how it is.
They find the town they find a town that looks like it's straight out of like Neo. Just like an old abandoned Japanese village filled with monsters.
I was very down for that.
Yeah, we should play Neo sometime. I think that'd be fun.
We
Gotta play
should play
Neo together.
Neo.
Gotta play Neo.
Do I have to be Neo or can I be Morpheus?
You can be Neo. I'll be Neo 2.
Neo 2, The Revenge.
Neo 2 Revengeance.
Okay, but Neo 2 Metal Gear Revengeance crossover when?
Probably never. It's Koei Tecmo, so yeah. Also, Konami doesn't do anything.
Konami doesn't do anything.
But you know, what's more likely a Nier Automata crossover? Because for some reason, everything gets a Nier Automata crossover.
I don't know why, but that just seems to be what they wanted to do. Like, hey, let's just put our game in other games.
I feel like if you just ask Yoko Taro, like, hey, can we put 2B in this? He'd just be like, yeah, go for it. It's like, don't you have to ask Square Enix about that? Nah, go ahead.
Nah, dude, it's my character. Fuck Square Enix. All right.
All right. Here's the thick thighs blindfold lady.
In Animal Crossing New Horizons, we've got the Nier Automata update.
Did they actually do that? Because I would 100% believe it.
No, not yet.
You know what also is a crossover and everything? Fucking Joker from Persona.
Yeah, that's one I'm actually tired of.
Yeah, Joker and everything. Mostly because Joker's Joker, whereas at least with 2B, I'm like, there's them thighs again.
Exactly. With 2B, you got something to look at. And she doesn't have to catch you staring creepily because she's got a blindfold on.
I think they have... Actually, I've never really gotten the... I never finished Nier Automata, but I don't know the purpose of the blindfold. I'm pretty sure it's just to, like, look cool.
I mean, that wouldn't be surprising. Like, I'm pretty sure 90% of the things in Nier Automata are just to look cool.
Yeah, because there's no reason for her to also be wearing, like, high-heeled boots.
Yeah, or a skimpy, basically a maid's outfit. She's basically wearing a maid outfit.
Yeah. Although people that are like get mad, like, oh, that character design is like, you know, overly sexual or whatever. It's like, but dude, every Nier before that sold like mediocre, and then this one comes in and just sells gangbusters based off that design alone.
Yeah. Shut up. It worked. And it's awesome.
I didn't care until I saw that, so that's good marketing.
I wish I could be like a big game reviewer or like any kind of reviewer. So when other people are like, man, all this over sexualization is some dumb bullshit, I can at them on Twitter and be like, hey, shut up. It's awesome.
Or just like basically be like, I literally did not care until they did that. I wasn't going to give them any money until they did this. So then they can see, for example, oh, it's like, oh, that guy, that's why they're making money. That guy, people like him.
Exactly. People like 2B. So shut up about 2B, because 2B is great.
Yeah. These
Even
girls are
like
pretty great too.
Who?
These girls.
Yes. They are pretty great. I feel like this episode is a relationship builder episode.
Yeah, because there's a part where, like, because this world does weird, like, things and just kind of fucks with them, where the glasses girl turns around and the blonde girl's just gone, and she's running around looking for her, and then she ends up getting dragged into a shack, but of course it's the blonde girl, and she's like, wait, I was looking for you. You're the one that disappeared.
Wait. No, but I was looking for you so much. I spent
like
so much time looking for you.
It's kind of like the previous episode with the like tall lady that they were going towards, where it kind of like it's like a weird illusion where it flips who's seeing what.
Yeah, I like it. I think it adds some cool depth. I kind of wonder if that's going to be the theme a little bit, because Sarao is she's more inexperienced with the other side.
And she
So I
gets all
wonder if,
grumpy whenever the blonde girl talks about her former best friend.
yeah,
It's like
I
people
don't,
have other friends.
that's not okay. Can't have
um,
more friends.
and also the little bobblehead dudes, like the monsters. Um, they were kind of eh.
They're
I think it's because they were explicitly very CG.
they're silly. They're
They were,
like
yeah,
silly
silly.
fun monsters instead of scary monsters.
And when they shoot them, they pop.
They
They
pop
like
and
deflate.
deflate like balloons.
But yeah, apparently there's too many. They start running away, and with her special eye, Glasses Girl sees a little shrine that they can pass through to get back to the regular world.
Yep. And I forget where they come out.
It's just some alleyway that has like a shrine in it.
Yeah. And then I like how they realize they're both holding their guns like drawn out in the street, and they're like, "Oh shit, we gotta put this away."
Yeah, it was okay. It was an okay
Yep.
episode. It was just there.
I feel like this was more built because I did read somewhere that this is based off of Yuri Media. So I think they're trying to slowly build that up. And that's probably what this episode was. It was a setup episode for the Yuri.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it definitely feels very Yuri.
Cuz like they're holding each other's face at the end cuz there's a thing about Sarao not thinking she's pretty and the fact that blonde girl is super hot.
Yeah.
That's not my editorializing. That's established in the show. That's show lore.
Yeah, they say she has good facial structure.
Which is the most clinical way. Like, if I was out there and I was trying to lay the moves down on
Excuse me,
lady,
madam, your facial structure is of peak performance.
That's something that someone says right before they like cut someone's face off and keep it in a jar. That's something a serial killer murderer says.
I don't know, but women love serial killer shows, so they might be like, ooh, he's dangerous.
Ooh, this guy wants to cut my face off and magnet it to his fridge. like a parent would with their child's drawing. We're gonna put this face. You did good, Timmy.
We're gonna put this right up on the fridge.
We're gonna put this face right up on the fridge. Okay, now I'm picturing like we start a new manga series. This is new manga series corner, and it's about a family of serial killers. And we just turn all the parenting tropes on their head by having everyone be serial killers. But they don't kill each other because they're family.
That's pretty good.
I like this. I like this idea. What's next on our list?
Next up is Boonies Kid.
Boonies Kid.
My favorite character was the bad guy. No.
I was kind of bummed. I was like, shit. I also didn't see it coming.
Yeah. I didn't either, which is why I'm like, no, not him. I hope he gets redeemed. Because they seem to show like the reason he was bad was because of something that the bad guy actually caused. He's like mad because, you know, the kingdom let his family got killed by the other nation, so he really wants a war with the other nation. But it turns out that it was like, also the king is possessed by a demon lord, so the king or the demon lord actually caused it. So hopefully he gets like my anger was misdirected. I am now good.
That's what I'm feeling, because I genuinely don't think there's going to be any way that they're going to drop him. Not after the fun that we've had with him in these last 2 episodes or 3 episodes.
He's a central character in the OP. Like usually if a character's only there for like 2 episodes, you wouldn't bother with them.
Yeah.
Unless it's Joshua and the Price of Smiles opening.
Which was literally the only good thing that show did.
Yeah. Hey, you subverted my expectations once in episode 2.
And then that was the high point.
And
It
then you
peaked.
made it seem like you were going to do it, and you never did it again.
Yeah. What wasted potential.
But not this show. This show is actually really good. So obviously, as we guessed, the witch is the princess.
I found it kind of funny how like we were pretty sure last week, and in this week she just comes out and says, "I am the princess." I was like,
Well, the royal guard cook guy ends up seeing her first, and he's like, "Your Highness."
yeah. And then since everyone's investigating, the belt princess and mercenary girl go to talk to the witch because they're like, we know if there's anyone who could help us find Lloyd, it's gonna be the witch.
Also,
And
yeah, the witch is
they're not
basically,
wrong.
and Lloyd's starting to grow himself a harem. He's got the belt
Yes,
girl, the witch, and the lollybaba.
he's very good at it.
And all he does is just be just a sweet boy.
He's just a cool
Just the
guy.
sweetest boy.
I like seeing a harem protagonist that's not like, I am a cardboard cutout for anyone to project onto. Like Lloyd is just, I'm a cool guy, you know? He's actually got a personality to him.
Yeah, it's not like I'm not gonna give him too much credit. He's not that deep.
No,
He's
he's
just I'm a
definitely
nice boy that does not realize that I am so strong.
right. But it's something. It is there. I give him props for having one.
Yeah,
Because like
he's okay.
it
But yeah,
gets
so in
real
this
cardboard
episode,
cutout in some.
they're all because when they're investigating and she sends him away, I thought that was at least a nice scene where we find out that also Lloyd is from Kunlun, so he is from the place where Iron Fist is trained.
Oh
They're the
yeah.
same name, so yeah. But yeah, I like how we do find out that the reason she's mean to him, well, she's mean to him about that and sends him away, is because he literally cannot get involved in anything political.
Right, because the heroes from Kunlun are bound to not of they're bound to avoid anything that's not an absolute world-ending threat, which I'll
Yeah,
come back to. That's a point I want to come back to later, because I think I know how this arc's gonna wrap up. But
yeah. Demon
yeah,
Lord
so
sounds like a world-ending threat.
that's my thoughts exactly.
Mao.
Lloyd is gonna actually fight a monster. Or he's just gonna wipe him with his napkin and stop the possession and fix everything. Lloyd
Oh,
and his
and
magic napkin.
I hope that the guy too isn't stuck as Bugman.
Yeah, me too. That would suck.
Yeah, he looks like a Common Rider villain.
He does. Can we get a Common Rider reboot? I want
Uh,
something campy.
there isn't there like several fucking versions of that series. It's like Power Rangers. It reboots itself all the time. There's always new
Yeah.
generations and stuff.
Yeah, but I want another one. I want one that I can be like, this one's my Common Rider.
You do have one. It's called Power Rangers.
It is literally Power Rangers. Power Rangers is expressly English.
That is our
Kamen
Sentai
Rider.
show that they made for us.
And you know what? Power Rangers is pretty campy, and
It's super campy.
it's
I
a lot of
still
fun.
I still remember that one day I was flipping through channels. I had like Drew over or something, and I don't know what, because it was still at the time where I had cable in my room because I actually bothered to have it. And we were flipping through the channels, and one was Power Rangers, and it was like this main villain who was just basically a giant rubber suit of like weird faces and tentacles, because it's a Power Rangers villain, so it's just a rubber suit,
So they
and
all were.
they get their power from ruining people's lives, or from stealing people's dreams or something, hopes and dreams, whatever. Anyway, there was this kid, and they they kept telling him like, yes, kid, you have to give up your dream of playing baseball, because then we'll bring your dad back from Afghanistan.
Oh my
Like, it
god.
was literally his dad was in Afghanistan, and the kid wanted to be a baseball player, but the monster, the bad guy, convinced him to give up his dreams of playing baseball because they'll bring his dad back. But they were just trying to do it for his sadness so they could like power themselves up. And then the
Oh
Power
my.
Rangers show up, beat up the bad guy, and get the kid back to playing baseball. And I think his dad shows back up at the end.
That wouldn't surprise me. That would be the perfect Power Rangers ending.
That's such a, but like I'm sitting there going, what a weird, what? What?
I Someone I used to have a couple classes with in high school and I were talking about Power Rangers many years ago, and I think he perfectly described the formula. It was I'm the villain and I'm going to get up to some mischief. Hey, we're the Power Rangers and you can't get up to that mischief. Ah!
It really is. Oh no, the Power Rangers are here, and of course they have to like do it in like a really like in the face of the camera, shaking their body because they have to move with every single syllable.
Yes, they have to constantly jiggle. But
Same
then
with when the Power
comes
Rangers speak, they have to move their arms with everything. They have to keep changing poses. They have to point, then they have to flex into like a kung fu position, and then they have to raise their fists. Every syllable,
I'm
you have to change your pose.
I'm going to be real honest. When I did the Power Rangers voice, I did point. I didn't point at anything
Exactly.
specifically, but I did point. I was like, "Hey, you can't do that mischief." But then the
It's
monster's like, "I get big now."
and then they're like, all right, time for Megazord mode, and then they blow them up,
And then
and then
Megazord
that's
shows up.
and then they beat the bad guy, and then it'll cut back to the like main bad guy of the series who will be watching from like a weird crystal ball or hologram thing, being like, ah, so they may have defeated that one, but I have something even bigger planned for them next time.
It's the perfectly self-perpetuating series.
Yep, and
And it
then for
had
some reason, it like because there's people that are actual like big fans of the Power Rangers. Because I know exactly why too. Because it's like, yeah, all of this shit is campy, but then they'll have one episode where they'll just hit it really hard, where it's like, hey, one of your like friends is a traitor or something, or one of the Power Rangers actually dies.
yeah.
Then back to the stupid shit.
And then back to all that dumb bullshit with
I remember
Rita Repulsa.
I used to watch specifically my favorite one was because I watched the original, but not like I watched it casually back when I used to be at a place that my mom like babysit these kids, and they were all a
Right.
little older than me, so they went to school, and I would just like watch Power Rangers while they were gone. But I remember the one I actually watched when I was like, I think like late elementary school age was like Power Rangers Dino Force. It's like
Oh,
that one specifically. I don't know why I was really into that one. I watched like almost all of Dino Force.
that's because every kid is a dino kid at some point.
Every kid is a dino. Well, it took two cool things. It took Power Rangers and dinosaurs.
And it
Dino
makes them
Force.
Dino Force.
It was
I
just
I
cool.
was I was into all Power Rangers, man. I was into all of that shit.
I remember actually I was super hyped when I was younger. It was kind of around the same time that they did a movie that you got exclusively at some fast food place. I don't know if it was like Burger King, McDonald's, or whatever, but you got a VHS tape with because they were doing a Power Rangers promotion. So you got the Power Rangers toys, of course, but you also got a VHS tape with a special movie they made of the first generation and like second generation of like Power Rangers. It was like that transitional period. So it was like a
Oh,
movie of like the two of them together. And I was like, ah, this is the coolest thing ever. You got the two Blue Rangers fighting back to back, the Red Rangers.
that's amazing.
It was sick. And I
That is
had
the
that VHS tape for a long time.
that's the best thing ever.
And then all those kids destroyed my Avengers toys.
Ugh, fuck those kids then.
They dropped them down the stairs, and all of them broke besides Captain America, Vision, and Hawkeye.
Captain America, I can understand. He's very strong. He's got the shield. Vision,
Mostly because he was thick. He was burly.
that's true. Steve Rogers is a very burly man.
Like, he was fine. Like, one of his arms became a little loose. Like, it would swing a lot more, but other than that, he was good.
Just
Vision had
made
a light up thing inside of him, so he was built of a thicker plastic.
all right.
And Hawkeye, pretty much the only thing that like broke on him were just some like peripheral pieces, like little things hanging off his armor. But for the most part, he was fine.
That makes
But I
sense.
didn't give a
Hawkeye,
shit about him as a kid because I really didn't know who he was.
I mean, Hawkeye's just a dude.
Yeah, but this was before like, the movies and stuff. So back then you really don't know. Like I knew Spider-Man and I knew whoever showed up in any of the Spider-Man media. So the only people I cared about as a kid were Spider-Man, Daredevil, and then Captain America because he showed up at the end of that Spider-Man PlayStation 1 game where Venom was like, "Hey, Parker, can you probably get me Captain America's autograph?"
I grew up with parents who were super comic nerds, so I've always known who everybody is basically.
Dude, I
'Cause
thought
like
Vision was a villain when I had the toy of him as a kid, just because, like, he's got like
he's
the
the least
glowing, like,
human.
yeah, he looks. I'm like, oh, this guy's like an evil, like, I don't know, robot or something, because like his head would like glow red if you press like the button.
Yeah, that's generally not something heroes do. But whatever. It's Vision. I was an Iron Man kid. I was always super into Iron Man, which meant that I got introduced to like the Iron Man gory comics wicked quick. Cause I remember, I think one of my first Iron Man comics I read where he fucking murders someone, of which there are many. Uh, he, oh, there's a guy who has metal. He's got magneto powers basically, and he crushes one of the shield agents into a ball because they're wearing power armor. And then like he hears this noise in the distance and he's like, what's that strange noise? And then Iron Man just goes Mach 5 and flies right through that dude's chest at Mach 5 and kills him instantly.
Dang.
Yeah, I think it's from Iron Man, Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. when Tony Stark becomes the Director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I didn't really read comic books as a kid. Besides, like, when I was a kid, I had a subscription to the Sonic the Hedgehog comic book because I really, obviously, as a kid, I really liked Sonic because that was before, like, you hit the middle school age and then you find out, oh, there are some people that really like Sonic. Like, they really like Sonic. They like Sonic maybe twice a day.
There are people who like Sonic a little bit too much.
Yeah. But at the time as a kid, I was like, oh, cool, because Archie Comics, for some reason, was doing like a Sonic the Hedgehog comic book series. So I would subscribe to that. I had some Daredevil comics, but like I had ones that specifically came with toys because back then, you know how they had some toys came with a comic book.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, here's a Daredevil action figure. Here's a comic book that comes with it. And I remember it was too advanced for me at the time because Daredevil's more for adults anyway.
Yeah, Daredevil deals with some adult topics.
It wasn't a graphic one because I think they knew they were selling it with a toy. It's just like, wordy.
There's a lot
it's like
of
Matt discussing philosophy and stuff with people, and I'm just as a kid like these are big words. I don't know what's going on.
I don't
It's
understand
a lot of talking.
this.
Why isn't he hitting people?
I got introduced to a lot of comic books and stuff like that at a very young age. But
for me, it was always because I remember during the you remember the Scholastic Book Fair?
Oh, do I?
They used to sell Shonen Jump, like just back when they actually ported over the full magazine, so you got like the big ass, huge booklet of just Dragon Ball, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, Yu Yu Hakusho.
All that good. Well, some of that good stuff and some of that not very good stuff.
I think this was earlier Bleach.
All right, so it's still in its good period.
Yeah, this was when I was in like elementary school.
So yeah, probably.
Actually, I don't even think Naruto was in there at the time.
Damn. That is early. I bought game guides at every Scholastic Book Fair. Like just booklets of cheats.
Yeah, I know. There was always that one kid that bought the game guide.
Yep, that was me. And I didn't even own most of those games, but I bought them anyway because I liked having that knowledge. Like, I might not be able to use this, but I like the fact that I have it.
Oh, I remember another series that was in there that I liked. Shaman King. That's how far back we're going. Fucking Shaman King.
Speaking of Shaman King, they're making a Shaman. I think it's a fresh reboot of the Shaman King anime.
That is strange because it's been a long time.
Yeah, I think it might be a Crunchyroll thing if I remember correctly.
I'm fine with that though, because I really enjoyed Shaman King as a kid. Because I remember this episode is going to be mostly us using the shows we're talking about as a vessel to talk about other things. So just strap into that now.
That's probably going to be the show from now on.
Yeah, but Shaman King, it's still anime. We're still on brand, so it's fine.
Exactly.
I remember they used to air that on like, I think it was like Fox's Saturday morning block or something.
Jesus.
Like Fox had like Saturday morning anime or something. I remember Shaman King was on that, and I used to watch that. And I remember, yeah, I really liked Shaman King. Toonami still, I think, had the best block, Saturday nights in terms of anime.
Always.
Bo, never forget.
Never forget Bo.
The worst block, I don't think this is a hot take, was 4Kids.
Easy. Like, what was even on it?
One Piece. They were they're the reason One Piece never took off over here. I'm 100% sure. Because I feel like they kneecapped One Piece right at the beginning. One Piece, they had like the Sonic X anime.
Oh.
They did Pokemon, I guess. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Those are series that like I really enjoyed.
Kirby, right back at you. I think Fox actually turned into 4Kids.
That would make sense.
He's coming right back at ya.
I watched that. I
think there was a magical girl show that they did that I remember watching.
Really?
Magical Do Re Mi, I think.
Because
I'm just looking at the list right here, and I'm like, I vaguely remember that. Yes, I remember that. But yeah, that would be cool if they reboot Shaman King. Everything should get a good version of it.
They are doing it. Like I remember,
we're existing finally in the age where things are sort of ending where they should be. Like we're not getting the old treatment of like, all right, we're just gonna end and leave it off to read the manga, or we're gonna just do an anime original ending. I think they stopped completely doing anime original endings, which I'm glad because those were never popular.
Yeah,
because they're ending Attack on Titan at the same time as the manga.
That's a
deal.
People are real into that, and I'm like, I don't know. I watched the first season. I was like, I'm cool with this. And then the second season came out, and I was like,
I hear it only gets better because I kind of want to get into it more. Because at first I thought it was just them fighting Titans, but then apparently it's a bunch of political intrigue later on.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I'm down for that.
I heard some sketchy stuff about some of the like I don't remember if it's the producers or the director or just the people behind Attack on Titan in general, but I heard some sketchy stuff about him, and I was like, nah.
Do you mean like the mangaka?
I think so.
Is the fact that everyone kind of looks like it dresses like they're World War II Nazis?
Yeah, that kind of ties into what I heard. I heard that they were pretty not okay with Jewish people.
The creator.
Yeah, which is to put it politely.
I don't know, so I'm just not gonna speculate on that.
Yeah, it's what I had heard, and the fact that, as you had said, these people a lot of them just kind of like Nazis.
Quick spoiler alert for Attack on Titan right here. Apparently the theme in like the latest season is essentially the main character trying to basically ethnically cleanse the planet. Anyone who is not his race, he is trying to wipe out, I guess.
That's cool. That's
according to my friend who really likes it, it was either genocide or get genocided.
I mean, I guess it is what it is.
It does sound interesting though, like some of the developments that happen in it. Because you know how like more spoilers for Attack on Titan. I just put a time stamp when I start this, and then when I say I'm done with it.
Yeah, I'll put like a skip
Little-
to this time code thing.
Cool. Because apparently, one of the things I thought was interesting about it, you know how it's kind of like a medieval series where they're in like their city and they got their little like, grappling hooks and swords.
Yeah.
They find out that they are actually on an island that's been separated from the rest of the world. Like they're basically being like imprisoned there, and the world is actually in like modern times. It's fine.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
because they're a race of people that can actually turn into the Titans, and everyone hates them because they can turn into Titans. So they're like, we gotta keep them in there. And apparently, like the upper people and like the government know about this, but of course they don't want to get genocided, so they don't let everyone else know about it. It sounds cool. It sounds like a cool like thriller.
Yeah, that actually does sound like some pretty cool political intrigue.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I want to get into this now.
That's neat.
I want to get into that, and I'm done talking about it now. This is I'm done talking about it, so you can put the time code here at this spot right here. There it is.
Time stamp here.
There was another series I wanted to sit down and watch too that was like I heard was good. I forget what it is though. But since I forgot what it is, I guess we can move on to
X-Arm.
X-Arm.
Oh boy.
I think this episode had not that much movement, and it just really sucks to look at these models. Like they're so not appealing to look at.
They're
They're
ugly.
so ugly. Also, I noticed when people talk in this, there's no all that happens is their bottom jaw goes up and down. There's no other facial movements. It's so disgusting.
Luckily, I had watched the first episode twice, so I already realized this. Like, they put no effort into the mouth moving at all. It's bad.
Yeah. Just also, everything they do that's actually hand-drawn has about 2 frames of animation behind it.
Yes. We get
like the part where the police robot is like holding the girl and the boy's kicking it. It's just a back and forth of the 2 frames. The boy's like leg going forward, backwards, forward, backwards, forward, backwards.
There's
so jarring that girl is drawn, but the rest of them like are. But that's the crazy thing too. Is like you'd think, oh well, at least they can draw these characters. They might have to have actual expression. The scene that got me, with which I realized like even the 2D is like fucking botched as hell, was when the commander guy is talking to his boss, who's like the lady, like that's like, don't make me look bad in front of my superiors. She has no facial expression whatsoever while saying that. There's just the 2 frames of her mouth being open and closed.
Yes,
just swapping between
the 2D somehow, some fucking how. The 2D animation is just as bad as the 3D animation. I don't understand it, but they managed it. Everything is like 3 frames a minute, and it's awful.
So bad that they put them right next to each other and don't even like bat an eye. Like the part where the girl is released from the robot and the cop girl is talking to her, and they're just standing. They're just standing next to. These aren't even side characters. This is a main character with like one of the plot point focus people this episode.
Yeah, it's terrible. Oh my god.
Yeah, and then they go and they have him help out and they introduce him to the rest of the cast and like, here's all of our ugly models.
Here's how hideous everyone else looks.
And the part where they go through, like he hacks into the system. First of all, I don't understand why they need to kiss that cop girl, but whatever. Also, they censor it. I love how they censor it because they're like, this is not going to look good whatsoever. This is just going to be the 2 model, like basically two dolls like smacked together.
That's what, even in animation, that's what it looks like. Because like the robot needs to collect some of her genetic material, and that's how they do it. And it's weird and awful, and I hate it. It looks so bad. And they did a flash of light to censor it because it's like, you don't want to see this. And they're
Yeah.
right. I don't want to see that. I don't.
They
Ah.
and then after he when he's doing the whole like hacking thing, looking at everything, just the awkwardly that sequence is done so like awkwardly where they're just like he's like I found a guy and then they're like we got him and it's just like cut so abruptly and weird. Also, I noticed the way the shots are done this episode is just everything is so close. Like everything is so
Yeah.
pulled in so tight. Like if a character's talking, you almost like get from like it cuts off the top of their head and like you get like almost like from their eyebrows to their chest because of how close in and boxed in you are. It's
It's
like
like
just
a
why back up.
it's like a picture my grandfather would take. The top of everyone's head is just cut off, and
Yeah, it's
it's way more
so
tight.
it's just so bad. And then after we get the church fight scene, which for some
Oh
reason
my god.
like they couldn't even make the guns have no impact in the show. Like they just make little pop
I
noises, little
I legit couldn't tell if they were supposed to be using real guns or tranquilizer guns. That's
yeah,
how bad this is.
and it's so floaty.
Oh, the animation looks I mean, I shouldn't call it animation because it's not animation.
Basically,
It's
yeah, they
just
go in and fight the
moving models
Japanese like
around.
Ku Klux Klan looking guys.
These dudes look like super fans of that Adult Swim show, Space Ghost Coast to Coast. That's what these
Also,
dudes look like.
just a side note too. These guys are suicide bombing because they're unhappy with the government's public works project.
Yeah, the government's building like some big thing, and they're mad that it's not done yet and didn't create as many jobs. So
So
they're
they're
gonna
gonna blow
blow everything
themselves
up.
up.
What the fuck? Also, like the guys who blow themselves up don't really seem to make that much of an impact because, like, the first one we see blows himself up on what looks like an empty freeway. So it's like,
I just
can we
think they
just
couldn't
let them?
populate the freeway.
Probably not.
They were just
They
like, that's too many
populate
assets.
they populate some of the streets kinda when they're running around, and
But
it's just
the fight scene is just so bad though.
it hurts.
It's because there's like parts where he's like throwing people, pushing people into there, or they're like jumping up on top of like the church pews, and it just looks like like they're just rising slowly, like oh, I'm now up here.
Oh,
And then
that's
after
like
the 2D girl is there because she got tricked by the cult leader who is also in 2D, and
yeah.
then they have a weird awkward scene where she's getting the cop girl shows up and she points her gun at her, but it's kind of point to the side directly, and I guess it's supposed to be a POV shot from the girl's perspective, but it doesn't really look like it. And then she just shoots her, and then it cuts to her on the ground.
I wasn't sure what that scene was gonna be, so I didn't have the mental
If it was a
capacity.
POV, they should have had her actually point the gun at the screen instead of slightly adjacent to it. I just thought like they
Exactly.
didn't put her in the shot even though she was talking to her.
Exactly. Like so many of the directing choices are so bad in this show, it's hard to tell what they were intending to do because they failed so hard at it.
Yeah, because I'm like, were they trying to do a POV shot with this? Or was
I
this just a
I
bad camera angle they chose?
I couldn't tell either.
Oh, and then we
It's
have the part where they do the helicopter chase, and then the scene where the bad guy gets destroyed is so fucking bad. Like, we talk about things being bad so far. He gets shot. If they just sort of Control Alt delete him from being there, he just disappears, and then they just abrupt cut to him falling down towards the ground.
because they're fighting and in the helicopter and he's gonna blow himself up and then all of a sudden and he's just gone. And the it cuts to like the two other cops, the two male cops. One has a sniper rifle, and it legit took me like 4 minutes to figure out that the guy with the sniper rifle shot the bad guy out of the helicopter.
Yeah, because we don't see him fall out of the helicopter. He's just poof, he poofs away.
And we don't
In
see the
fact,
cops setting
just
up
to
at
make it
all.
easier to see, it's gonna be shit regardless. So you might as well just keyframe him. Just have his thing slide out.
Yeah.
Because at least I can
Lit-
know, oh, he was shot and fell out instead of just what? Why is he outside the helicopter? Oh, because that guy shot him.
exactly. And there's no setup for
And
him,
again, the camera angle is always uncomfortably close to him, so it's not like we're far enough away where we can like assess the situation.
right?
Because
We don't
everything is
even
just
know
pulled into everyone's faces. It's like back up.
we don't even know that the helicopter is at the level it would need to be, or even like near the tops of any of the buildings. He just like
Yeah, they're super bad
dies.
at establishing place.
It's
Like they don't establish location at all. It's like we had because if you even had a quick shot of just him with the sniper rifle before then, and then just kind of the helicopter kind of lowering itself to where it needed to be or whatever, we could at least know, oh, he's about. And then that happened, we'd be like, oh, he got shot.
we can fix that with like maybe one extra minute. Literally just
Just
like
rearrange the cuts. That's it.
the yeah, the two guys, they come up onto the roof and they set up the sniper,
I
and
feel
one
like
of the
someone who's a
dudes is
basic
like,
YouTube editor could just move some clips around and have this like flow much better.
yeah, have
It
him
wouldn't be good,
show
but it
him,
would like you would at least be like, oh,
like even if you can't like even if you can't animate them walking onto the roof, just like have them crouch down on the roof and have one of the guys
or not even
radio.
just show that they were already on the roof. Like
Right.
they're on the
And
roof ready because you can use the same shot. You can use the exact same shot they showed before and after.
exactly. Even better, you don't have to show that. 2 seconds of dialogue added over the radio. Have the other guy call over the radio, get him, I'm set up, get him up to the level of the roofs and I'll take him down. Like, that's it. That's all we
Yeah, you
needed.
don't even need to have them like do that. You could just have it just show that he's there ready to shoot him.
Just
Or
do
if he is, or if
something.
you are just gonna have him get shot and fall out, at least make it look like he got shot instead of just Control Alt Delete.
Just, oh,
Just whoop,
it's.
I'm gonna blow up. Oh,
It's not like I can't even call it
yeah,
rough. It's just awful.
it is awful. So honestly, another awesome episode.
So just 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 anime of the season so far.
This show is so fucked that like watching it is amazing.
I feel bad too because anytime we see the bumpers where it's like the actual art of like the series, I'm like, man, everyone looks really good and expressive.
Yeah, all of these characters could look really good.
And then we cut to his fucking face. Like, I think that's the worst thing. That he has the exact same expression all the time. All these characters have one expression, and it's so sad because I'm like, you could, even if this was bad, with everything going on when you cut to him on the inside, if he had any more facial expressions of just being like, man, this situation sucks, or like, oh man, I got to do something about this, just 1,000 yard stare all the time, just
Give him one more expression, please. Just one. Just
just
one.
one. Just just because give all of them at least two expressions. If I could see them switch between two anythings, that would be nice.
Oh, that would be so nice. Just even the smallest bit of variation. But no. No.
Yeah, I can't wait till next week's episode.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna watch it later and then watch it again next Saturday.
Because it looks
If it
oh
really is that bad, I might end up watching it 3 times.
like I said, I saw a gif of there's a man who's a cardboard cutout. They're literally panning upwards, and they have this guy standing there, and you can clearly there's things behind him too, so it looks even worse. It looks like they just took like a cardboard cutout, stuck it in the middle of the road, and there's like a tank behind him and stuff and shit in front of him. But he it's
Oh,
so jarring because he stands out so much.
sweet Jesus.
Like oh
I
my,
need
it's just bad.
Yeah, it is so awful. So awful.
But you know what isn't?
Dr. Stone.
Doctor Stone. So yeah, they're just chasing the weirdly big lipped girl.
Yeah, it's gymnastics girl.
Yeah, which is like, oh, she's doing this because she's really fast and agile because gymnastics, something that doesn't exist in your world. And I'm like, I feel like Kohaku would be better since she has to literally live like Tarzan. I feel like, that would give you a competitive edge over someone that just has to like, do it in a cushy gym.
I don't know. I think she was Olympic level, but I don't know.
Probably because
They,
everyone's got to be like super high school level, whatever.
oh yeah, because we get this super ridiculously hearing Archer later, but most of the episode is the chase with Gymnastics Girl, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and I like how they use cell phones in this, but I do have a gripe with it where I'm like, how the fuck does Gen know Morse code?
I
That's not a
just
skill. Like I get Senku is like the savant of smart guy things and knows everything, but what reason would Gen have to know Morse fucking code?
the only thing I can think of is that Gen knows Morse code because Gen is basically the grifter. Maybe he used it to pull off a grift at some point, but like even that feels like a stretch.
That's a lot of you have to basically learn a code system just for a grift.
Yeah,
It's a lot of work.
it is.
But
It
essentially,
is.
because they have the two sets of phones, she's right in the middle of them chasing the A group, while Senku's group, the B group, are planning a pincer attack by using Morse code to communicate between the two groups. He's like, yeah,
Because
we're basically texting.
yeah, I like how he the other people don't understand what he's talking about because they're cavemen, and he's like, well, since we can't talk on the phone, we're basically just texting. And Ginro and Kohaku are just like, wow, that doesn't help us at all. Thanks.
But yeah, the way they get her is pretty good, where they fake set up a telephone pole, and she goes to climb it to confirm what it is, and then they cut the tree down that she's on, and then she thinks she's gonna die, but of course they save her.
Because they are set on not killing anybody.
Yeah,
Because
no bloodshed.
there's a scene I like between Kohaku and Senku where
Yeah,
Kohaku is like, listen, if I can kill her if you give me permission. And Senku's like, no, you don't have to do that. There is all science gives us a better way.
that's why I also really like the scene with Gen, Magma, and Chrome when they show up and they see all like the soldiers, like the stone statues of the soldiers that Tsukasa's gonna make, and they're like, hey, why don't we just Magma, of course, being Magma's like, why don't we just destroy them all right now? Then they won't be able to fight. And Gen's like, yeah, that would be the best option. And then the second he's about to do it, Gen almost has like a sort of like flash of like, hey, this person, he didn't do anything wrong. He lived just a regular, normal life.
This was just a person.
So he
I
stops Magma from doing. He's like, yeah, I guess I can't. I'm just, humans. We talk big, but we're actually rather weak. And then Chrome cuts in. He's just like, no, what we're doing is a lot harder. We're trying to do this as a bloodless war.
our solution is the more noble one because we're taking the harder path. And he's got a point. Honestly, I think he's got a point.
And then they
Um,
go, and then they bury the thing, and then they get basically chased off by the big eared dude.
yeah.
Dude, a fucking flashbang is going to be the easiest thing to beat him with.
Oh, 100%. They
Just
already have
beep!
flares,
Yeah,
so like they've got sound bombs. This dude's fucked.
yeah. It's like good luck with you. Good luck with that tinnitus.
Yeah, sorry we permanently damaged your hearing, but hey, we've got ramen, so maybe you could join Team Science.
It doesn't stop the ringing.
No, no.
But
We
yeah,
don't even have a modern cure for that.
no. I feel like everyone kind of has like, in the sense of like mild tinnitus. You know what I mean? Where it's like, if it's actually completely silent, most people I feel like are bothered by that.
I have literal tinnitus, so I kind of get it.
Like I sleep with a fan on just because I need the white noise.
Yeah, I know a lot of people need like white noise machines or fans or something going, but like I don't know. I I I I just don't know. Because again, I'm not a very good judge of this because I have actual tinnitus.
I
I'm
didn't know
starting to
you
lose.
had actual tinnitus.
Yeah, I'm
Both ears or
losing
one?
I'm just one for now. I'm losing my hearing a little bit in my right ear.
Oh no.
Yeah, it is what it is. I try to take it easy, try to play it safe. But
Did you like have an incident where like, you were like next to something really loud or something? Is that how it got damaged?
honestly, I think working in a factory just like I think it's always kind of been there, but I think that working in a factory is just making it worse because everything
Aren't you supposed to wear like those protective earmuff things?
we actually don't have to in assembly. Because no one gets the protective earmuffs. Like we have some shitty earplugs that they bought like a pack of 500 for $1 for.
Ah,
But in assembly, we kind of don't have to because we're not really that close to machining, so it's not as loud. But it's still like it's the constant noise all day where it's just like
yeah, it
just
probably
all
doesn't help.
day. Yeah, it's irritating. So I listen to my iPod all day.
Hmm.
I listen to podcasts.
Before we move on to the next episode, I did want to mention that final scene. I really did like where they finally speak to each other, Senku and Taiju.
I was getting a little emotional
Where he's
because
just
I
like,
was like,
"Yo, what's up, man?
the boys,
The
the
boys,
boys reconnected.
the boys reconnected."
That'd be like if the world suddenly turned to stone and then like 3,000 years later I woke up and I found you and I made you wake up too and then I woke up some chick and then we formed our own society, but like we raised we raised Devin.
Yeah, I was just say we get Devin up, and Devin decides to make it the Unga Bunga clan.
Devin wants to go Unga Bunga clan, but I want to be Science clan. And then we have a split, and I have you watch Devin for me because I have to make Devin think that I'm dead. Because Devin's constantly like, well, I got to kill you now anytime I disagree with him.
And then you're like, how? And then you'll call me and like, how has the things been over at the Devon base? And I'm like, he basically just has raised a bunch of people and then says, let me put you to sleep. Don't worry, it won't hurt. And most people here have decided to leave because, no one wants that.
And then we win a bloodless war.
Let me put you to sleep, it won't hurt. Let me just put you in a chokehold.
No, dude, I don't want to be put in a You did that yesterday. Nah, dude, it's fine. I'll just put you in a chokehold real quick. No.
And then he loses because he doesn't have the charisma for a leader.
and then we win. And then that's just how it is.
That is how it is.
So it turns out Dr. Stone would have been a lot shorter of a storyline if
it was about us.
Yeah, if it was about us. And Tsukasa had absolutely no charisma.
You know what? In fact, nothing would have happened because we would have been like, all right, Ian, we need you to come up with the science. And then you're like, fuck, dude.
I don't know. I can build
this
some
is how
water
it works
filters.
in Minecraft.
I can make some
3 stone and 2 sticks. We can make a pickaxe with that.
I know. I do kind of know how to make some simple stone tools. You gotta find the right stone, and then you bash rocks together.
Unga bunga.
When it comes to antibiotics or ramen, that's it. I don't know how to make either of those things.
It's like money and antibiotics. Hurry up.
I don't know how to make antibiotics, dude.
Ian, we just need sulfuric acid. It's not a big request.
We know you've watched Dr. Stone. We just need you to do that.
Come on, you've watched Dr. Stone. You've watched the Rick and Morty of anime. You've watched the Thinking Man's anime.
That a lot of the stuff that they make in this show, and there's even a disclaimer at the end that's like, hey, these are all based off of real methods. Don't do it because it's not safe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they do real science.
So
Obviously, with some, like,
things work out a little conveniently.
yeah.
So let's go back to the manga corner. We're going to write a new manga. It's about an otaku who watched all of Dr. Stone and has to raise an Unga Bunga society using only the knowledge that he gained from Dr. Stone.
It's very short. It's like 3 chapters.
It's very short. It doesn't really work. They don't hate him for it, but like he invents a couple cool things
But he couldn't figure out antibiotics, and he dies.
and everyone dies.
Speaking
He didn't
of
know enough about
everyone dies,
everyone dies. The anime.
Higurashi.
Yes. You know what? That was the perfect transition by accident.
Well, I forced it to be a transition.
And you forced it at the right time. Because everyone fucking dies. Specifically Rika. Holy shit.
Yeah, so this episode we get a real hard look into being disemboweled.
It is something that genuinely made me a little queasy.
Something that really should have killed her faster than it did. Like,
Yeah,
I get she has the painkillers, but, like, even still.
Painkillers do not stop your body from going into shock because of blood loss. That's not how that works.
Yeah.
You just won't feel it as you die.
So, Satoko in this looks like she has Hinamizawa syndrome. But
And
it's kind of weird because she starts saying some, like, real stuff.
She gets meta with it.
Yeah. So, like, she's still scratching out her throat, but at the same time, she's still, like, saying things like, hey, all this is happening because you chose to leave Hinamizawa. You wanted to leave. This is your punishment.
Part of me wonders if that's where Satoko comes in as the other looper. Like,
she's mad because because she left.
Yeah, her bestie left, and she's pissed about it. So she starts making all these other fucked up timelines.
I also wouldn't be surprised
if
it was partially Hanyu, because Hanyu is basically the deity of Hinamizawa, and, like, basically was abandoned because, Rika left.
Yeah.
So what if it's the two of them working together?
What if it's the two of them working together, and in order to fix it, Rika has to work with the clinic?
That's why I think at the end of the episode when they go and talk to Takano, I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're going to work together.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, this sucks. Because right now, apparently, after getting disemboweled and everything ripped out from inside of her, she basically realizes, you know what? I should just learn to love Hinamizawa and just decide to live here and everything to be happy. And because she chooses to do that, and she tells Satoko, everything ends up being fine. All the events that would happen don't happen. Rena and Keiichi don't go insane. Teppei never comes back. Keiichi and Shion never run away during the festival to go to the shrine or go to the shed. Everything goes perfectly fine.
And that's kind of that's kind of why I'm wondering if Satoko isn't the one doing it, because all this happens after Rika tells Satoko, like, yeah, I should learn.
Basically, just, hey, yeah, that's why I think it's Satoko is like, hey, we're gonna have fun forever in this town, forever and ever.
I want to just to bring it back to the disemboweling scene a little bit.
You know what I think You know what I think it might be? I think maybe, like, after Rika left to, like, go basically live the rest of her life somewhere else, I feel like Satoko stayed and things didn't work out that well for her. And then she ended up making contact with Hanyu. Both of them, being upset, decided to reset everything.
I could see that. And now Satoko was never, like, a great person, but now she's an actual bad guy, and so is Hanyu.
She was never that bad of a person.
No, but
She put up with a lot
Actually,
of
yeah, because
bullshit. She
if
was fine.
that's when she made her twist, then yeah, before that she was fine.
It would have been like afterwards, like
Yeah,
I think during that transition, that period of like post, um, the ending of the original.
right. I think that would be a better way to make to justify making this series as well. Is
Mhm.
like we found a good way to tie it in so it's not like some arbitrary bullshit.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what she talks about with Takano because I want to say like I genuinely think Takano is going to be good this time.
Yeah,
Also, she's barely been present.
she has. She's been like a specter on the fringes.
Her and Tomitake have like shown up only like briefly in maybe 2 out of the 3 previous routes they did.
Yeah, most of the time they're just mentioned in passing as already having been dead
Or missing.
or missing. They're already gone.
But yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
I'm excited about it. This is a good
Yeah,
investigation
that was a pretty
series.
graphic scene too. They didn't like use black bars or anything like they normally do.
Yeah, I was
Like,
surprised.
look at all those guts, those intestines.
I was genuinely surprised with how uncensored it was. One of the things I liked was because basically Satoko does the Watanagashi Hoenn thing, and she disembowels Rika with the hoe, and like that was bad. What I wasn't expecting was for Satoko when she picks up Rika, only the top half is picked up. That was like
No, she picks up the
was
whole thing. It's just like, there's just that
no.
gap now.
She's in half. She is in half, dude.
No, her back still connects. It's just there's no front.
I'm like
I'm
90%
pretty
sure
sure it's like
Rika's
she
just
basically
in
turns
half.
into like her stomach area is like in the shape of a C.
It's bad.
Like it's just hollowed out.
It's
Like, because imagine
gross.
if you took everything out of your stomach area, you would just be the ribs on the top half with just your spine and like back skin connecting to your like pelvis area.
I'm gonna do research because I think actually no, I don't wanna because I don't want to look at that again. It's rare that I look at gore that actually makes me nauseous, but like this kind of did.
Higurashi
Because
Gou is pretty good. I forget if because I know you just recently marathon through the first half, but not the second half. Did you get to the fingernail scene?
yeah, and I was okay during that.
Yeah, but I'm like
Well,
saying like that's pretty like
it's bad.
yeah, it's
Like
bad.
Higurashi gets real gory. It is.
Higurashi
It
gets like
is.
specifically gory too. It's not just like oh you're just getting like beaten to death or something. It's more just like it's like hey look at like the ways that a human body can be like taken apart.
Let's mutilate people.
Yeah,
It's intense. It's not a series for the faint of heart,
it is
which
not.
that should be obvious by now if you've been listening to us talk about it. But like for realsies, though, it's not for the faint of heart. But this podcast is for the faint of heart, and you can find it anywhere, basically,
Anywhere. It's in
pretty
Walmart
much.
now.
We have a Walmart kiosk. You can
No,
just
yeah.
sit down in the Walmart and listen to our episodes.
But we are on Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Deezer,
All of those. We're
and we're on
also,
social media,
yeah,
Facebook and Twitter at Protagonist Seat.
at Protagonist Seat. We're
There's so
there.
many. There's so many places we exist.
And you should leave comments, reviews, interactions
And
on
just
every single one.
interactions. Algorithms love the interactions.
Algorithms do love the interactions. Like, even I would say that our new format is super fire, but even a
Yeah.
dislike affects the demographics in a positive way.
Just, you know what? Make a bot that'll spam us.
Go for it. We won't say no.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put the pressure on Ian and say that we're gonna be releasing little clips too of like good moments from the podcast. So you know what? We'll have clips now because people love clips. Clips give you good analytics.
Yep,
They're quick.
They're easily bite-sized, They're easy to share bite-sized clips. We'll be posting those on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You can burn them onto flash drives, I guess, and just throw them at people on the street.
Yeah,
You
just
can
like
do whatever
whip
you
the
want.
clips at them.
But in any case, thank you for sticking around. We hope to see you next week.
Mm-hmm.
Class dismissed.